Hey guys! Happy weekend. I'm just going to give Facebook a minute to do its thing and make sure that I have got all my captions on. So let me know, say hello when you join and let me know where you're from. I love seeing where everyone is from. I hope that you're having a lovely weekend wherever you are. Oopsie. Okay. Hello Jenny, hey Christine, hey Verity. Okay, oopsie, that's not the right button to press. I'm doing a fun card tonight that I saw on a YouTube video, which I will share in just a second. Once I make sure that captions are on, which I think they are, all good. I really need to bring my mouse mat back in here. This is my dinosaur computer that I don't use very often. Pretty much only gets used when I do a live video. It's very abandoned computer in here. It's more used as a TV screen, to be honest, when I'm crafting. Oh. So I'm hoping that you can see my desk okay and the connection's all right. I'm on my second Saturday, or I'm in week 2 of the roster that we go off in this household. So my partner's actually at work. So there's probably less internet being used, which might mean that the picture's a bit better, I'm hoping. Because he does a weekend of 24-hour shifts this weekend. So I have more internet available. Not that we don't have internet, but the boys do use, I'm assuming, a fair bit of the download speed or upload it, whatever you call it. I'm not sure. I'm not very technical. Okay. So, I'll get started in just a second. I'm just taking a sip of my coffee. I had to rush out and take the dogs quickly to the toilet and make sure my son was fed. And then I said, I'm coming in. Mum is having some time now. So you need to behave yourselves. Okay. Oh, I've got a very squeaky chair. Okay, so I have been in here most of the day actually because I've been doing bits and pieces, but I saw this really fun card and I am going to I don't even know how to pronounce this lady's name, but I have cased one of her cards before. Hey Sue, I'm well, I hope you're well. She's a German lady and her name, I'm just going to type it into the comments because I am not even going to pronounce this at all. But I have written it on the tutorial that it was inspired by her. So she posted this really cool card that was a fold-out panorama card. Using this suite, I changed it up a bit and made mine a little bit different, but it folds out to reveal the whole panorama of these really cool papers that we have got. Hey Heidi, are you home yet? Or are you still in hospital? So I really thought this was cool because these papers are, I'll share this one at the end, but these papers are like a really cool scenery type paper. So she made hers and had, oh, I've got a hiccup. Hers was slightly shorter, but I made mine the full length of a standard card. And I think she had the wood grain texture on the side. But when she opened hers, she had a sentiment here, but it was hard for somewhere like to write. So what I did to change mine was I made this a pocket so that you could pull this little piece out here and have a little space to write, because adding a bit of white space, you'd have to either make this panel your writing space or cover up some of that beautiful scenery. So I wanted to make that little pocket, so I sort of made another interactive piece on the inside. So it's actually really simple to make, and I'm using the new basic beige colour. So this was the first time I'd used it. So if you haven't seen it yet, we have a new colour coming on May the 1st, and it's called Basic Beige. It's a bit similar-ish to Sahara Sand, I think, which we don't have anymore. But it's the cardstock. I had not used it yet. So she had used it in hers, so I decided to use the same just because I realised when watching that I had not used that colour yet. So these are, I'm using a lot of new products, but I do have a sample using some that aren't new because we have another style of, really, Mean's favourite green. Wow, that is cool. Oh, you're still in hospital. Well, hopefully soon. So this is the paper. It's called Thoughtful Journey, and it's coming in the new catalogue, which if you are a customer of mine or if you were on the requested catalogue list, yours is on the way. I had a mammoth time packing catalogues and making them pretty. So this one has really cool patterns. Mine's probably not in order whatsoever, but this was the pattern I used for this one. But they're really, really beautiful, sort of, look at that, it's so pretty, watercolour style. I'm just going to flick through because otherwise we'll be here all night looking at paper, although I would be happy with that, to be honest. Yeah, they're beautiful patterns. I really like the colours in this one too. And there's a bit of, I think, I'm not sure what colour this is. Sorry, my son's at the door. Okay. Oh, gorgeous.
Where are the gold things?
Just use a tea towel. What's a tea towel? Do you say what's a tea towel? Yeah. The red cloth. It's on the bench. Hey, Emma. I'm good. How are you? Oh, goodness. And yeah, so there's really cute. Oh, my. Oh, what am I raising? And I think she used this one. So yeah, lots of cool patterns, really cute, and it comes in the 6x6. So the really cool thing this fold does is it actually almost uses the whole piece. So if we have a look, hello Ali, good morning to you. So if you can see here on this card, you were just left with the tiniest strip. So this pattern uses almost a full piece of 6x6. And for those that use Imperial, I have actually done the conversion. So I have converted it over. See, look, I will prove to you. This is my weird way. I use old colour, so I think this might be pale papaya. So I do actually make it to make sure that I've measured it all correctly. So I do make the Imperial card in old cardstock to measure it all out and make sure it fits. So I have converted it over to make sure that there is one there as well. So I will get started. There was just a few things that I thought, I didn't introduce myself again. I said I'm really bad at that. Hey Renee, so if this is the first time you are watching me, my name is Kayla, which I'm sure you can tell from my channel name. I go by Kayla Renee, which is actually something I have done since I was a teenager. So I've been a paper crafter since I was 14. So it's been a little while. And I've always gone by Kayla Renee in the craft world. So that's why it is Kayla Renee. And I actually loved when I was a kid that my middle name was French. I have no idea why. So it always just stuck. So, yes, and I'm from the northwest coast in Tasmania at the bottom of Australia, the tiny little island at the bottom. Just a couple of, before I get started making the card, if you are new to me, I have a calendar up the top of my, pinned up the top of my Facebook page, which lets you know when I'm going live, anything that's going on in my business, in my little crafty business. I'm going live again tomorrow, which is in my VIP group. My VIP group is not just for my customers, it's for anyone. So you can just hit the link to join, which is in the pinned post at the top of my Facebook page. So that's a live that I do just on my VIP group, and this has got everything that I do for the month, including my host code. If you want to order with me, I always appreciate those that support my little business. And I like to send out a handmade card and a thank you gift to all my customers that use my host code for the month. And then this is something else I also give my team as well as customers that order with me. But if you're international, you can actually purchase the Global Creative Project tutorial as well. From my tutorial store, which is linked in the video description. So this month we have used the Perennial Lavender suite of products, and this is a tutorial bundle with 12 different Stampin' Up! Demonstrators around the world, and so you'll get 12 written PDFs as well as the video tutorials to match them, and that is 22 Australian dollars, so whatever that converts to wherever you are. And that is available in my tutorial store. Otherwise, if you purchase from me or join my team, you get that for free. The other thing happening this month, just quickly, is the last chance sale. So this is my big mammoth list. There is a little bit sold out already. Products are up to 60% off in my store. So that is definitely worth checking out. These are all the products that are retiring from the 2 current catalogues, which are these 2 here. So these are about to finish at the end of April, and the products that are retiring, some of them are marked down by up to 60% off. So that's worth checking out because it ends this month, ready for the brand new catalogue, which is this one. And that is where the products that I'm using today come from. So this one, if you do want a copy of this and you live in Australia and don't already have a demonstrator, hit the link in the video description to request a catalogue and let me know, and I can get one of those in the post for you. Okay, so I've showed you the paper, and these are the cool little embellishments that go along with this suite, which I'm going to use as well. They are super cool, they're very shiny. And I think that was it. So this is the bundle, the Thoughtful Wishes bundle. Has some beautiful imagery here with some gorgeous sentiments. I love the dies. I did use this set in the in-colour cards that I made on one of my Facebook Lives, but I just used this beautiful big die here, which I'm using again. I can see me being very addicted to this bundle. I did also bring in the Unbounded Love dies because I used I used 2 of the little border, the labels in here as well. And you'll see that as I go along. That's no problems at all, Fran. I love giving my PDFs and measurements out to everyone and seeing what they make with these tutorials. So let's get started. I'm obviously doing mine in metric tonight, but you can easily refer to the PDF, which I'll probably post tomorrow, so keep an eye on my page. And stay till the end if you want to, because I will share an alternative project. Where do you get your magnet sheets and clear packets from? Oh, okay. The packets are from Amazon, and the magnets, I believe, are from either Amazon or eBay, I think. I'm not sure. So I will have to see if I can post a link to that. I'm pretty sure they're Amazon. Very cool. I like having my dies all on magnets. Okay. Now I have misplaced my scoring blade, which is so annoying. I'm sure it's behind the desk or something. Whilst listening to you, I'm also doing the same with the dog house. Okay, so I've got a few bits and bobs here. Okay, so I've got my basic beige cardstock. I'm just going to grab that one first because this is what we need for the card base. Now, Nature's Sweetness. Hey, Narelle. I was wondering where you were. So with this one, this is just half your sheet of cardstock. So this is cut to 21 by, 21 by 14.9. And then I'm going to score this at 10.5. Now normally I would use my scoring blade, but it has gone AWOL, don't know where. So I'm just going to score that down the middle. But you also want to make a score at 3.5. So I'm just going to put this back in. Actually, I'm going to turn it over because then you get two nice score lines, because we're going to go in different directions and you'll see that in a second. So I'm going to put that on 3.5 and just score there. Okay, so that gives us our card base. So now we can just fold that over and reinforce those score lines. So this is the basic beige cardstock. It's quite a beautiful colour actually. Now when we've got that scored down, I'm going to fold this back on itself. Okay, like so. Now I've done a little bit of prep. I have cut a piece of the basic beige, which I'm going to sit to the side for a second, and I've cut a piece of the basic beige, which is actually going to go on the underside of this flap, but we're going to do that once we've got the decorations on the front, and you'll see why. But what we want to do first is actually get our DSP ready. So I'm going to use something different. So I've used this one here. I'm going to bring in this pattern to do something a little bit different. And I'm going to, hey Leanne, I'm going to get your help because I haven't decided on a colour, and I had all these colours out and I couldn't decide on what to do. So with your 6x6 sheet, if you're using Imperial, you'd cut it down to 5 3/8. But for metric, think of what I'm saying there, you're going to cut it down to 14.6. You want to trim it first to your length. So that is literally all that we're not using of this 6x6 sheet. The rest of it is going on the card. So it's pretty cool. Now we want to cut this, and I wrote this on the PDF, is that this is where it's important because this is where the panorama piece happens. So we want to put this first to 6.6. Now I'm not going to repeat the imperial measurements, I don't think, because then I'll start confusing myself. Stop with the 8s. It could be 16ths. So it's all good. You're lucky it's 8s. In fact, I kept the imperial measurements. Actually, there's no 16th of an inch, so I felt pretty proud of myself. Okay, so 6.6 is where we want to line this up to and make a chop, okay? And then we want to just move this along and then cut at 3.5. Okay. I feel like I've got cold fingers, you know, when you feel nervous doing measurements and things that are precise when you put cold fingers. Okay, so that's your 3.5. Now you don't have to chop this piece anymore because that's just your leftover and it's going to measure 5.1. Well, that's what it will measure, but you just don't chop it because that's going to be the perfect measurement there. So that gives us our piece. It looks weird, hey, because the two different lineups there. But I'm going to move that other way for a sec. I feel like I'm going to have to keep bringing the trimmer in. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I chopped this piece of basic beige out to 6.6 by 14.6. I don't know why that's confusing me. It's confusing me because I need to put this sheet away. It's because I've got heaps of imperial measurements on there as well. Okay, so I cut it to 14.6 by 6.6, so it's the same measurement as this piece here. Now the reason for that is because you're going to stick this on the front and otherwise that piece here will just be DSP, and I felt like it might be a little bit flimsy. So I want to mount this to a bit of cardstock just to give it that extra strength. Now you want to make sure though that when you're mounting it, you're mounting the right side, because otherwise you're going to have an interesting time. So make sure you've got it on the correct side and then line it up with that basic beige piece. This is why I love liquid glue, because you've got time to move that. I'm trusting my son out there to cook chicken nuggets himself in the oven. Or sorry, they're dinosaur nuggets. He's 10, but he wanted dinosaur nuggets. So I'm just nervous letting him use the oven. But for those that are just joining, his dad's not here. He's at work, so he's making himself some chicken nuggets. Okay, so now we've got that piece mounted to the cardstock. We can actually stick it to the card. So we want to stick it we want to add adhesive just to this flap because we don't want adhesive on this side at all. So I'm going to add some glue, but not going right to the edge because there's a bit of a border. Now to line this up, you just want to add a nice border on all sides. So there's a nice border around here of the basic beige, can't say it, and on this flap here. So, oops, there should be a nice border all the way around. Okay. Then when we open this, give that a second, we can actually then go and put our other pieces of DSP in to finish off the Panorama piece. Gosh, I can't talk tonight. This is when you need to read that wonky donkey book that I always talk about. Okay, so I'm just sticking this down and I am leaving a little bit of basic beige around the edge. You will get a tiny border, but you still get that panorama effect. Okay, so then I'll add a little bit of adhesive to this one. And then just stick this one to the right hand side of the card. Okay. Now, what I need to do now is choose my coordinating colour, and this is where I got stuck. So for this one, I chose the Wild Wheat for the colour to do my embossing on. For this card, for some reason, I just couldn't decide. So I look at when I am trying to choose a coordinating colour, if I'm using DSP, which stands for Designer Series Paper, if you aren't familiar with that acronym. I can't find, I've put it, I think it's in the stack somewhere. There is actually a backing sheet to these, and that is in the stack somewhere, but it'll look like this anyway. And underneath there, there'll be some colours that coordinate with the paper. That one does have one, but it's gone AWOL. So these were the colours, so some of the colours that coordinated that I could see in the paper. So you'll have to help me. So do you think boho blue, you got to remember this will be embossed. So boho blue, calypso coral, Cajun craze, that's going right out there, or a colour that I do not use. This is, I believe, Mossy Meadow. It doesn't look like Mossy Meadow though, does it? I put the wrong label on my... Do you know what I've done? That is not Mossy Meadow. I reckon that's Garden Green. This is Mossy Meadow. Goodness me. Okay. What have we got? Blue. Yeah, I know. What was I? Do you know? This is how bad I am, Narelle. Look at this. I'm thinking that does not look like Mossy Meadow. And I have shoved... So I sorted out my scraps the other day all into their own little packets because I was getting annoyed. And I've actually labelled Garden Green with the Mossy Meadow cardstock, and I've labelled the Mossy Meadow and put the Garden Green in it. Anyway, oh my goodness. Okay, so what have we got here? Blue, blue, blue. I think that we're going to go with blue. So we're going to go with the boho blue. Barney blue. No, is it? What is it? It is boho blue. Okay. So this is literally, I don't have many scraps of boho blue. There's a tiny little piece there. So we'll see what we can get out of this. Okay, so we want a piece for the front of the card. And the front of the card is going to be cut to 6.6 by 14.6. And then we need a piece cut to, I believe it's 14.8, but I want, not 14, 4.8, sorry. 4.8. By 14.6. So that scrap was perfect. Okay. So they're the two pieces that we need. And then we're going to run these through the embossing folder. So these embossing folders are massive. This is one of the new embossing folders called the So Swirly Embossing Folder. And I just thought it was super cool. So I wanted to try it out on this card because I haven't used it yet. I'm just going to be really lazy and try and do it all at once because I am a true lazy crafter. So I'm going to shove those both in there and I'm going to pull my big machine in that doesn't get much airtime, to be honest. So this one is not a 3D embossing folder. This is just a normal embossing folder. So you'll need your normal embossing sandwich, which, am I doing that correctly? Yes, I think I am. I don't know. There we go. Oh my goodness, it's very tight, but oh, okay. Here we go. Okay, so that is how they come out. Aren't they cute with that swirly embossing? Okay, so then I'm going to add, what did I say it was? Boho glue. I'm going to add some inking around the edges. Just going to add a bit of ink on my mat and then just grab my blending brush and add a bit of ink. I love doing this to dry embossing as well, because if you go lightly over the top, it can add definition to those raised up pieces. So I'm just going to do this to both pieces. It is lovely, isn't it? I love this embossing folder, Emma. I didn't realise, and I think we're all a bit shocked about how big those embossing folders are, but I really like them. I like them. I saw Jenny Pauli from Germany. She did a scrapbooking page using that one as well. And because it's so big, it embosses pieces that are really great for scrapbooking. I know, Narelle, this glass mat's awesome. Okay, coffee time. Okay. Now we can do this next bit. So I'm going to add a little bit of, I've got a really gunky top to my glue, which I really should fix because it makes the glue hard to come out. You probably all don't want to see that. I was going to add some spritzing, but I didn't. Okay, this piece, so this is the front of the card. I'm just going to tip that back for a minute and add my embossed piece onto that front flap there, like that. Okay, right here, and then, oh, it looks pretty with the boho. And then this piece, we do not want to stick down with glue. Do not stick that down with glue because that is going to be our pocket. Now, just to remind myself, I'm not going to do that bit yet because I'll cut the strip first. So this suite also comes with these, what are they called? Thoughtful designs, and I think it comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 5 different colours. So it's got all these beautiful colours here, and they're they're sort of a foiled, but almost like a matte. It's a really interesting design, but they're a silvery foil, really, really pretty. So I used the blue one. It still looks beautiful with the blue. I don't think, here I am, and it is ombre. Narelle's correct, it's ombre, so it's lighter and goes into a darker, or darker then goes lighter, however you want to say it. I'm thinking I should still stick with the blue. These would make beautiful scrapbooking pages as well. Okay, I might just stick with the blue. I'm very indecisive. This is why it takes me a whole day in the craft room to make 2 colours. I do. Oh, did I get no? Where are you from, Emma? I feel like you're the UK, or am I totally incorrect? I'm thinking of another Emma. This is how bad I am with memory. Because you can get them a few places. I found Amazon really expensive for these. So I've cut that to 1 centimetre. And I'm going to cut that to the same height I've been doing everything, which is 14.6. And I'm not always organised, trust me. Okay. Oh, you're from New Zealand. Well, then I might still be able to send you the link. I will send it afterwards, but I'm going to write myself a note to do that because I'm terrible. I'm just going to put organising. That will remind me what I'm doing. Okay. I've got that. Now, I want to add some glimmer as well, but I can't do the glimmer until I have decided what I'm doing with the glimmer. So I thought I added the pretty peacock glimmer, and then I wanted to try something. I wasn't sure what colour I was using for here. So I decided maybe I should get the white and just make my own colour, because I saw this nifty thing on Stampin' Up's page. So I think, what colour glimmer? Something that's a bit different, not blue. Maybe, what do you think? I could go Blackberry Bliss. I could go, where is that other one? I could go Calypso Coral. That's a very faded ink pad though. Or I could go Lost Lagoon, although that's not very opposite, is it? I feel like it needs to be more into the pinky purple reds. I might try a dark pink. A dark pink, okay. I don't even know if, I swear, it's annoying me that I've lost the backing sheet to this, because it's in here and I just have to sift through every single, sometimes you can hunt it out really quickly and other times you can't. Oh, there we go. Okay. I don't actually know if this has got a dark pink in it. It's got Petunia Pop. Petunia Pop, which is not a dark pink though. I don't even know where my Petunia Pop is. Oh, there we go. I could go Petunia Pop. Oh, yeah, okay. Put these ones away. And what will I need? We will grab one of those. Now, I haven't done this before, so I'm doing it with you. I'm just going to ink straight onto the glimmer paper. So for the previous one, I have used Pretty Peacock glimmer, but for this one, I'm using the white, and I'm actually just colouring my own glimmer. So this white glimmer, the glimmer doesn't come off, so you're not going to get glitter going everywhere, but I'm just using the ink straight onto the glimmer. I saw it on Stampin' Up's page on one of their reels, and I just thought, oh, that's fantastic. So you're not getting a super dark pigment with it though. So it's more of a lighter version of the colour. Still, you can still tell it's Petunia Pop though. All that ink off. I don't like wasting ink, so I'm just popping it onto the glimmer, and then let's clean up that glass mat. Okie doke. So Isn't that cool? I love that you can make, the white glimmer is also in the online exclusives. It comes with Berry Burst and Old Olive Glimmer. When they pronounce mauve. Okay, so we just need a little strip for the side. Now, something I do, maybe I'm just really particular, is I actually have a blade for my trimmer just for cutting glimmer because I don't want it to blunt my good blade. So I'm just going to trim off a piece that is 0.5 of a centimetre, which in metric you'll use 3/8 of an inch. So it's just a tiny piece that you need for that glimmer. Now I'm going to adhere just on the top here, this little strip of specialty paper that I cut. Yeah, neither did I, Narelle, and I have 2 packets of that stuff, and I don't grab the white glimmer because it's white. No, I like colour glimmer, so I don't use it. But then I saw that you can colour it, and I thought that's cool. So when you cut this, it's 0.5 of a centimetre, but 14.6 high. I just left mine because I'm just going to trim it. Okay. So that's going to become our pocket for our little bit of journaling. It's just drying from the wet glue. Now when I'm doing a pocket, I'm just going to use my tear and tape. So I don't want to add tear and tape to this opening side. I want to put it on the bottom here. So I'm just going to pop some along that bottom and along each side. Like that. My stomach's rumbling. Okay, just going to make sure that's nicely adhered and take all the backing of the tape off. And then our pocket can go down. So I'm just making sure I've got a nice border along the edges. Hope you cannot hear my stomach. Okay. And that's our border piece. And then our journaling will be able to go in there. So I'm just going to make sure that that's nicely done. So I have got stuff everywhere now. We still need that piece. This is going to be our little journaling box, which I might do now. So I might add a little bit of the, I might go with Petunia Pop because I've got it out. So I'm just going to add a little bit of ink. I've still got plenty on my brush, so I'm just going to go with that. And then from the Thoughtful Wishes stamp set, there's a really cute little floral stamp down here. I'm going to just stamp it down the bottom here. So I don't know, I think I might go with Blackberry Bliss because I want to go with something a little bit darker than the Petunia Pop. And that's just going to be a little accent down in the corner on the journaling piece. And just to add a bit of pretty, I'm going to just colour those in with some Winker Stella. Sometimes the Winker Stella will move the pigment too, so it just depends on how highly pigmented the colour that you're using is. Might add a spritz of that while I'm there. And I might grab the Petunia Pop marker. So this is the Stampin' Wrap marker, and I might just spritz a little bit of colour there. Not sure if I did that on the original, but hey, I'm not following the instructions. Okay, so before we stick this to the little mat of basic beige, so I've cut my little journaling piece. This is 5 centimeters by 12, and then I've cut this to 5.2 by 12.2 centimeters. But I want a little pull tab. So if you see my original here, I've got a little tab here so that you can grab onto that and pull it out. So I found the little borders in the Unbounded Love Dies, and I cut out this one here to create a little pull tab. And while I cut that out of Basic Beige, but I also cut this one here out of Basic Beige, and you'll need that for the front. So I've gone ahead and done both of those ahead of time out of Basic Beige, but I just need this little piece at the moment, and I'm going to add just some liquid glue along the bottom edge of that and line up that underneath. So you want to place the glue on the front edge of it because it's going to go onto there like that. And then you can adhere this to your layer of Basic Beige. Like that. So then that sits in there like that. So when you open, you shut, you've got a little spot to write. Now I'll work on the front. Now sometimes you do, when you've got all these pieces stuck down, you do have to reinforce the score line. You know, we're adding lots of layers here, so sometimes it's handy just to reinforce that. Okay, so now we want to cut out a couple more, or die cut a couple more pieces. So from this colourful piece that we just made, oh no, I thought I misplaced the dies. Yeah, those dies are beautiful. They come with so many different labels. I love them. So I want to use my favourite die, which is this big one here. And I'm going to cut that straight out of this beautiful coloured glimmer that we just made. And I'll bring in my little die cut machine. This is my most used tool, I reckon, in the craft room, is this little machine. I love the little one. You need both because I wouldn't have been able to do that embossing folder without my big one. I'm wondering if I should run it through once more. It is glimmer, so I might just give it a good go. Okay. Now we can pop out all those little pieces. And if you weren't aware, you can actually still get the boho blue machine. It was a exclusive or something or other at once upon a time, but it is actually in the shop. So you can still get the boho blue. Okay, so there's just some little pieces in here. I love this little picky tool for that. These are, I heard someone refer to it as a Swiss Army knife of crafting, and it's so true. I use my take your pick tool all the time. I have 8 of them, and I know that's totally over the top, but you know, in my defense, it was because I used to do classes in person. Okay. So that is our little piece for there. And then we have also, while you're die cutting, I have cut these 2 little pieces, which I did ahead of time. And that is from the same set. There's 2 little dies. So they're a little bit different, I think. They don't go the same way. There's 2 of those, and I've cut those from Lost Lagoon. And I also cut one of these from Petunia Pop, and that little die looks like this. So yeah, I've cut that ahead of time. So you just want to have those. Now, what I'm going to do next is take a sip of coffee first. And then, I don't know why I make a coffee when I do a live video, because it never gets drunk when it's hot. So you want to stamp this big one here in Memento Black. And then that is because we're going to do some Stampin Blends colouring. You couldn't tell, you've lost your take your pick tool, Narelle. You're terrible, you lose everything. You need like one of those Apple Find It tags and everything. Hello, Michelle. How are you? Okay, so I'm going to colour this, and I have got out my Petunia Pop markers and my Blackberry Bliss markers. But I'm going to not use the light Blackberry Bliss. I'm going to use, by the way, this is what's happening to my Blackberry Bliss one. Sometimes it does, but I just pull that out and put it back in because it's not on its last legs yet. I don't give up on things until they're absolutely dead. Okay, so what I want to do is colour the tips of my leaves in with the dark Blackberry Bliss. Okay, now I might just do that one. And then you want to go in with your mid-tone. So I'm going to use dark Petunia Pop. And then I'm just going to flick and draw that downwards. Do the same with all of them. So I just want to blend out that darker line from the Blackberry Bliss. And then the last colour is the light Petunia Pop. So do the same. So you're kind of going from dark to light with these leaves. Whoopsie, that went totally out of line there. That's a bit beyond flicking. And then once you're happy with that, and you've done your first bit, if you lose some, I like to go back in with my dark and just add a bit more dark at the base, because I find that sometimes that definition can get a bit lost. So I just like to go in and add a touch more dark in at the base. Oh really? Your Blackberry Bliss did the same. So annoying, isn't it? You're useless. You're not useless, Narelle. Your cards were beautiful on the Artisan with the, is it Memories and More with the, I'm useless for my memory. So I have gone ahead, and here's one I prepared earlier, and I've done all of it, but I also went over the leaves with Wink of Stella when I was finished, and I die cut it out. So this one has a matching die. Okay, so then this is going to go over the top, but I'm going to flip. Oopsie, it's getting all tangled. So it's going to go like that. Now I have used some of this, but now I'm wondering, Boho Blue is a colour, isn't it? Yes, I could have Boho Blue, or I could have Pebbled Path, or I could have, I don't, see, Moody Mauve is not my colour. I just don't gravitate towards it. What is, I don't think that's in there. Okay, so take your vote. Would you think blue or Pebbled Path? So some grey. I don't think Pebbled Path is in here, but if you think it's too much blue, you might prefer grey. I call it a grey, but it's a grey brown. Or you could just vote for Wild Wheat. I love Wild Wheat. It's honestly one of my favourites. Okay, so I've got blue, 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 Pebbled Path. Oh. Any more votes? While I clean my desk, because I'm really I'm a bit of a clean freak sometimes, but there's nothing wrong with that. Blue, oh my God, Narelle. someone tell her off. Okay. Oh wow, Pebbled Path. Okay, oh hold on. What have we got here? Is it? Are you guys going to make it even? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're going to go with blue. Okay, it's blue. Ali made it blue. Okay, so I'm going to pull a piece, a length here, which was already a length cut. And I'm actually, I don't use I don't use it in its full thickness. I probably could, but I haven't used it that way. But I like to separate the threads. I do this with a lot of things, and you'll see it on the other variation I made. I did the same thing with something else. So what I like to do is just twist it, because this is a jute thread. So I'm just going to twist it apart and then use my fingers to separate it. So keep twisting. Work your way down until you get to the end. And you should have, oopsie, you'll get, it actually has 3, I think, so I've obviously already pulled one off this. So you should get a couple of long strands, which I reckon this will be too many. I mean, sorry, it'll be too thick. So I'm just going to cut. Basically, I just want to create a mess of thread behind here. Sometimes, gosh, it sounds like my son's listening to nursery rhymes out there. I don't know what he's listening to. I might cut a little bit off. So sometimes with the ribbon or threads or whatever you're playing, it just takes a bit of messing around. I literally play with them until they're working in my favour. And you'll see how I do this in a second, because there's a reason I have a bit of cardstock cut for that flap underneath, because I am going to do something that's a really quick crafter's method, especially when using things like this. So I just want to move that over a bit. And we're going to place that on top somewhere. So this bit, I'm making it look unnecessarily fiddly right now. Okay, so once you've got your pieces, so those that have seen me tie bows will know why. I'm just really extra, what's the word, perfectionist with that kind of stuff. Okay, so I'm just going to go with it. So stop pulling at it, Kayla, honestly. Once I'm happy with that, I'm actually going to hold it with my thumb and grab my stapler. And you might be thinking, what on the earth are you doing? I'm stapling this in place in a couple of places, and that is not going to move. That has stapled my die cut, both die cuts and that ribbon. Now, if the reason is the staples are on that flap there. So when you cut this underside flap piece, which is cut to 3.3 by 14.6 in metric, it covers those staples. So it's a really simple method to be able to adhere those really hard to adhere things like thread down with just a staple or two. I just want to adhere that down. And you get a nice neat back, and that's all stuck. Really cool. Okay, so then I need to grab my label. Hey Michelle, how are you? Seems there are more blues. Yes, there was a lot of votes for blue. So I'm going to grab my Stays On ink. I love Stays On because it's a very true black. Okay, so then I'm going to take the sentiment that says, you make life better. And I'm just going to ink that up and hopefully, because I don't want my head in the camera, get that straight. Okay, it's pretty good. Oh, I hate the smell of stays on. I love that embossing folder too, Rochelle. It's only the first time I've used it tonight. It's so cool. Okay, and I'm going to grab the basic beige and I'm just going to get a, oh heck, we'll just stamp on that. I'm just going to ink that up and stamp it off. And I'm literally just adding a little bit of texture with that little stamp that comes in here. It's really cute. It's a little like inky splotch thing. So I just wanted to add that in there. Now I can go in and add this over the top. So that covers the staples on the front. You want to make sure if your sentiment is overhanging, so mine will overhang just a tiny bit, you don't have a dimensional hanging over the edge. The smell is awful, Fran. I know. Oh, okay. Not upside down. We don't want that. Okay, so I'm just going to stick that over the top there. And then we're going to add our embellishments, which are hiding over here. Are you putting the sentiment? Oh, yeah, definitely, Narelle. You'd make my life better. Okay, so then we've got the, I don't know what colours these are. I wish they would say on the back, to be honest. Actually, heck, I have a catalogue here, so you'll have to tell me which ones do you think I should use? The purpley, the blue-grey, or I think it looks like Calypso Coral, but you'll have to tell me which ones you think. And I'm going to check what colours they are, if I can, because someone told me that they don't have the colours listed, which is true on that. That's weird. I agree, Rochelle. I've always said it smells like marzipan. 29. That is really weird. They don't have the colours listed. That's a little bit annoying. I think they look like a Blackberry Bliss colour. And it almost looks like Misty Moonlight and Occasion Craze or Calypso Coral. But what do you think? We've got a lot of... I think that one's out. Personally, we've got the blue colour or we've got the purple colour. I'm going to, while I've got to find my Wink of Stella, so I'm going to spritz, I've got to add glitter to my card. It's just not right without it. Purple and, a mix. Misty, purple and blue. I could add both. Let's do that. Let's add both. Because to be honest, I actually added both on the original. Okay, so I'm going to add a few. So I've got 3. I honestly think I've added 5 on the original card. Probably don't need 5. I probably need 3. I'll just do 3. What is the name of the embellishments? These are called Adhesive Backed Pearl Trio, and they go with the same suites. They go with the Thoughtful Wishes suite, and they will be available on the 1st of May. So that's the front of the card, and now let's just finish and add a couple of things on here. So I am going to add a little bit of ink to these, I think. I don't know if they have a top and a bottom, but we'll just wing it. Where is my blending brush gone? It's gone missing. So I'm going to add a little bit of Lost Lagoon. I've just got small blending brushes, yet I'm still using big ones for these. Probably easier to do it with small ones. And then I want to add a little bit of Petunia Pop or some Blackberry Bliss actually. My son has the TV up so loud out there. Oh, you found it. Calypso Coral, Misty Moonlight and Petunia Pop. Where did you find it, Fran? I could not find that anywhere. Okay, so I'm just adding a little bit of Blackberry Bliss to that one. Just get that clean. And then we need to stamp one more thing. So I'm going to stamp Dearest Friend. And that's going to be stamped in Stays On. Oh, it's online. Well, that's handy to know. Thanks for that. It's weird they don't have it in the catalogue. Okay. So, stamp that on there. And then I just want to trim this down a little bit. I like to have a nice skinny strip. There we go. Okay. Might just add a little bit of Ink Stella in there. And I'm going to cut, just flag the ends like that. And then I might grab my fine tip glue. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to my flower. And stick that one just to that side panel there. And then these little leaves, sort of just winging it. We'll see how it turns out. Oops. So I want to stick this one along here like this, and then we can stick, I want this one to go over the top of a couple layers, so I might use some tear and tape here. Just so it's got some nice firm, strong adhesive. And I just realised I did something, I did a boo-boo. I've just got to pull that adhesive back a little bit because otherwise it will go over the top of that journaling layer. We don't want that. Just want to make sure that there's no adhesive there. Okay, now I think we're done. So that's the card. So you pull it out and you've got that whole panorama scene with a pull-out journaling block that you can journal on. So there's still a place to write, and they could display it upright. So the recipient could display it upright and get that whole beautiful scene on display when they fold out the card, or they can have it on display this way. It's completely up to them. So yeah, it's a really fun card to show off, that designer series paper. And if I still have it here, I'm pretty sure that is the only leftover strip from the whole 6x6 sheet. So that's the only bit that you're left over with from a whole 6x6 piece. So this is the original one that I made. So this is the one with the more wild wheat colours. This one pulls out to show off that beautiful scene there with the pull-out pocket. That has a little bit of Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock. So that's a bit fun. I'm loving the basic beige. Now the other one I did because we actually have another type of paper that is similar in theme to this, and that is the garden, what's it called? Meandering Meadows. So I'll show you in just a tick, but I made this one just to show off another product that we actually have available now. So this paper is available in my store under online exclusives, and this one pops out to show a beautiful scene like this. So for this one I used the matching stamp set. I used another online exclusive called the Basic 3D embossing folders, and these little gorgeous birds, they come as part of the suite as well. And I had fun colouring, doing some Stampin' Blends colouring with little gum boots and a watering can, and I used the matching ribbon that was part of the suite. I forget what it's called, it's pecan pie and vanilla, but I pulled it apart to create these threads on the background. And then I had the little pull out journaling tab again, and I've used the same die cut. And I went with some silver glimmer instead this time, because I'm always going for gold. So that uses these patterns here, which I've got some colour parts in there, but these ones have beautiful, stunning scenery designs. And this is another 6x6 patterned paper pack. So I'll just run through them really quickly. So this one's still available. Really beautiful. Yes, Fran's got a good idea of attaching a gift card to pull out, so that's a great idea. I love that this sort of fun fold shows off the designer series paper but keeps these seams whole, because they really are beautiful designs. I can't remember whether Stampin' Up have shared the designer that made them and where they got the inspiration from and how they made them. I think they have, but yeah, it's super. I love this one. So pretty. So yes, there's a whole heap of patterns in there, and that one comes with the Garden Meadow stamp set, which has these beautiful images, and it also has these gorgeous dies with a big archway and some pieces that make some grass and foliage with a beautiful gate, and it's got pieces that cut out all of these images here. So I used a few of those to make my card with another Panorama card. So that was a lot of fun to make. I had a blast using embossing and having fun with this. So thank you to the German lady. I've got her name on the PDF that I will share. I should learn how to say it, but she had this really cool design, and I just added the pocket with a space to write and changed the measurements a little bit. She also didn't have the imperial measurements, so I did my best to convert that for everyone. What else could you do with that type of paper? There is some examples on Line Verity, or another cool one that I have seen done is when people cut out the archway, so it almost looks like a window and you're looking through on the seam. It looks really effective. So say we've got this here, you could cut even using a different type of die, like a big circle or a square, and just have it like a framed artwork piece. Would look really cool and effective. There's some great fun folds that use anything that uses large pieces of designer series paper without cutting them into little pieces, so you can keep the piece as a whole, is great. Because you don't want to chop with these pieces, you want to try and keep the piece as whole as you can. So you want to use the largest piece you can, where this one does cut it into small pieces, but you fold out to see it as a whole. So I hope you enjoyed seeing that bit of a fun fold tonight. I had a load of fun playing with these today. My craft desk tells the story of how much mess there is on here. So next week, I think, or tomorrow, I'm going live on my VIP page. So if you're not a member, be sure to sign up and become a member, because I would love you to join in. I will just see if I can pop the link in the comments so that you can join. Anyone is welcome to join my my group. I don't know if that will work. I'm hoping it will. Oops, I'll pop that in there. So send a request to join if you're not already, and I'm going live at 5 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll be back here live again at 7 p.m. next week. I'm still busy, a busybody, because I'll be away all of May, so trying to get some stuff done. Next week will be the last live I do until I'm back live again in June. So all of May's will probably be pre-filmed. But I will definitely see you next Saturday at 7 p.m. So sing out if you've got any questions, and as always, happy crafting and have a lovely rest of your weekend. Bye guys.